let's talk about Danjuma. Is he a player that we need? Is he a good player? You happy with the signing?
Where's he from, Gaz?
He's from the Netherlands.
From the Netherlands. We love a Dutch player.
I think, look, for me, you're looking at Danjuma, I think Son is struggling big time. The question is, when does he come out? When do you pull him out? It's every game a topic of conversation we're having amongst ourselves, friends. Is he going to be subbed? You drop Sonny this game. I don't think we've got enough impact off the bench. You're looking at Brian Hill as an attacking real option, bit lightweight. But this guy's got a bit of pedigree. I think his stats are decent. They are decent. Plays in off that left-hand side, right-footed, got a bit of pace, goes at people. We need that at Tottenham.
It makes me think, though, like, why did we get rid of Steven Bergwijn?
Absolutely. A lot of fans are straight away on that one, saying is that a backward step?
But I think that's more him. He is a Dutch international.
Yeah.
He was a starter in the World Cup. He wanted game time, and especially with the World Cup coming, he wasn't prepared to sit on the bench. And that's the biggest problem that Spurs have had for the last 8 years with Harry Kane and Son, the duo. Where do you fit in? Kulu's come in, he's hit the ground running, and he's in that 3 now. Richarlison is the Brazilian number 9, and he's not a starter. So it's quite difficult. If you're a player in your career that you want to start somewhere, then you're like, nah. And as for Danjuma, he's looking, hang back, I go Everton here, but these guys want me. Sorry, Everton fans, we've done it again. It happened with Sissoko, and that's happened with Danjuma. So they must.
We took Richarlison as well.
I didn't know with William.
But
yeah, I think we are Everton's Chelsea.
But let me ask you this: when Danjuma's 2 best positions are either left wing or up front striker, we have Son who can play left wing or striker. We have Richarlison who can play left wing or striker. Why are we bringing in another player who's naturally on the left or striker? Why aren't we bringing a player who can naturally play on the right? Is he a player who's the best fit for what we need right now?
Well, I think, as Gaz said, the Son situation needs rectifying because we need an option there. We say Richarlison can play left-sided. I don't think he can. I think Richarlison's best
position. He played
there
lots for Everton and did well.
I know, but I think his best position is that man at the front.
I agree.
In an ideal world, I'd like Kane behind him. Can you imagine Kane behind Richarlison? The amount of goals we'd get. That Kane's our best midfielder. Like
he's best defender, best midfielder,
honestly,
best attacker.
That 4-2-3-1 at Tottenham for me would work. Like I think if you've got 4 at the back, 2 holding midfield players, Kane in that role off Richarlison with Kulusevski and someone else on the other side.
Could be Son, could
I
be
mean, you need another centre back to partner Romero, but
absolutely.
But is this a signing? Do you think that we would have made if he wasn't available on loan on a fairly cheap fee?
Oh, absolutely not. This is a Daniel Levy special. He's walked into Poundland. He's seen it hang about. What's in your basket? You ain't paid for it yet. It's a Dan Levy special. But we'll see, because at the end of the day, after last season when Kulu and Bentancur come in, none of us jumped up and down. Kulusevski, like. The geezer's a starter now for me. And for me, Kulusevski and Bentancur and Romero, they're the future of Tottenham. Like, that's how good these players are. So I'm going to wait and see. The jury's out. And I just hope, if anything, it gives Sonny a kick up the bottom.
Do you think Spurs fans are a little bit, because there's no real money involved, we haven't paid a big figure, it's almost like just because we haven't spent a whole load of money, they're sort of a bit deflated by it all? I think you need to give the guy an opportunity.
I don't think it's about the money. I completely agree about giving him an opportunity. I think once he pulls on that shirt, you've got to back the lad.
Absolutely.
You have to back him no matter what. But where I see the problem is that we want players to come in that are Conte players, that are there to come in just for Conte, that Conte is earmarked for him, for the system. I don't think he's that, and I just think he's more of a Daniel Levy signing and more kind of a scattergun approach again.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but do you reckon the signings that have come in are Antonio Conte players? Because I'll be honest with you, I find it really, really strange. Let's take Basuma, for example. If you're bringing a player to a football club and he's your sign, you play him. Straight away every game.
Yeah.
You don't play him. Don't play second choice, third choice.
But again, would we have signed Basuma in the summer if he wasn't in his last year of his contract and available for 25 million? Would we have signed him? This is the problem with, I feel like, our transfer strategy. I feel like we're only looking for good deals and opportunities rather than actually look at Arsenal. They in the summer, their number one thing they needed issue in the squad was a striker, and they go and get Jesus. They need a left back, they go get Zinchenko. They strategically look at their squad and think, where are the holes? What do we need? We just look at the squad and think, okay, what opportunities can we get? Right. And it doesn't even matter what position.
I don't even think we look at the squad and see like what opportunities we have. We just see what opportunities we can have, and it's frustrating.
He shops at the discount mall. You know, like when you go to America and you go to get the Ralphie on the cheap. I got one here.
The snide one.
No, it's not snide. It's just cheaper. It's at the outlet. He goes to the outlet. Yeah, that's where Daniel Levy goes. Whereas Man United Go to
Goes
Real
to the
Madrid and
cash and carry. That's
They go
what
to
he does.
and they get Casemiro, and that's what Conte said. He goes, if you want to win, you buy Casemiro.
I tell you what it's like. It's like, have you ever played Football Manager, the game?
Yeah.
So it's like, so what like Man United and Chelsea and City do? They filter by position. They filter, okay, I want someone who's 15 crossing. I want someone who's 15 tackling. I want all these different things. What we do is, filter by transfer list, who's transfer listed, and then filter by who's expiring in the contract. And then just go by that list. And that's what we do.
The only time you do that on Football Manager is when you're managing a club with no money or managing a club lower in the leagues, pretty much.
So the only thing I'd say about that is, and especially in this window, we're caught between a rock and a hard place with Conte not signing a new contract and Daniel Levy. Because if I'm Daniel Levy, I'm like, yo, you paid 65 for Richarlison, 30 odd for Basuma, 20 for Spence, 20 for Undugi. I call it, like, teach me how to do it. So he's done almost about 150 in the summer. If I'm leaving, I'm going, right, I'll give you another 150 now, but you need to sign. And then Conte's going, I'm not going to sign just yet. I'll see how we get on. How can you give someone more money in case they won't be here next year? Because if the next guy comes in and you bought a £70 million player and he goes, I don't like him, we're in an Ndombele situation.
I think you're spot on. I think back on that Danjuma though, I think we need a player in that position.
On the left.
I do, yeah. I think
more on the right though. We don't need more than the right.
But you know,
player.
the modern day, they switch. They switch in
and the
games.
right side's Kulu.
And the Kulusevski.
No one's getting in front of him.
And I'll be honest with you, we need him to play every single game.
Yeah, every game.
He can't be
He
afforded
seems to
to
have
be
injury problems at the moment. We can't get him fit. You know what I
He
mean?
picked up something the other day, and I saw him like limp away. And you're thinking, but I think that area, especially as you said, Kev, with Son, the way he's performing, something we need to have a look at. We have addressed it. Only time will tell. Look, we have got Paratici who has been capable in the past of pulling.
How long do we have him for?
Kulusevski.
How long do we have him for?
5 hour coming for you.
He's pulled out Kulusevski and Bentancur out the bag. Obviously, there's been a couple of ones that have not been good enough. Let's hope this one's a good one.
Yeah, I think in terms of profile of player, not position-wise, but in terms of someone who's strong, who's a dribbler, who likes to get in goal-scoring positions in the front line, who's fast, we're lacking that at the moment. We're lacking a real dribbler in the front line. I look at Richarlison, Son, Kane, Kulusevski. None of them are really amazing one-on-one dribblers. You don't really fancy them when you take players one-on-one.
Kulu's the best out of them lot. And yeah, we need someone, again, with Lucas Moura being injured all season, he used to be able to drop the shoulder and go past someone. I used to love Moura in that central role and just go at people. So we are missing that. And that's also another factor that gets you off your seat as a fan, seeing someone try and go past someone. Hey, we always say it on the podcast about players, we call them because they make your seats go up and you can hear the bang. Exactly. And that's why I always hark back to Lennon about how great a player he was, and I don't think he was respected as much as he should be.
100%.
Because he created so much. Okay, his end product wasn't great at times, but what you can do from pulling out a couple of defenders because they're so worried about that person coming at them that you double up, you create space.
The king of the drag back out.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Played in a time though. In fact, I won't go too far. It was different football though. 4-4-2.
True.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? How would he adapt in this day? Be different.
And in terms of another protected signing in Pedro Porro, I mean, he was our number one target coming into this window. When's the last time we've signed our number one target coming into a window?
Well, it hasn't been signed yet.
Well, it hasn't been signed yet. Don't put him on your FIFA team just yet.
Yeah, I've done that before. I did it basically as a story. I did it with in 2013 when we signed Willian. Well, we were supposed to sign Willian.
My God.
I saw all the news of him having his medical and everything. I was like, all right, I'm putting him on my FIFA team because the new FIFA hadn't come out, so I'm already switching transfers to put him on Spurs. So I put Willian on Spurs, and Ben's like, don't do that. He hasn't been officially announced. You're going to put us. I was like, mate, he's had his medical. I'm putting him on Tottenham. It's
I'm
fine.
telling him, don't do it.
And I wake up the next morning, it's like Chelsea have hijacked the deal. I was like, oh, it's all my fault. Oh my God.
Some poor Everton kids up there done the same thing with Danjuma. but Danjuma's done press, he had the shirt and everything.
I'll be honest with you. Let's talk about Chelsea hijacking.
I know.
That chairman is just like, hey, what soccer ball player can I buy today? How much is he? 500 million? Okay, let's give them 6. He's mad. He is mental.
Crazy. But what do you guys think about Porro, and what can he bring to Spurs?
Anything other than Royale and Doherty. I'm so excited. I would have signed my dad, who's 66, to play right wing back. That's how bad it's got there. And you know what? I feel for Royale because he's not a right wing back. He's not a bad right back.
Yeah.
If he's in a 4-4-2 system.
Played well at Fulham the other night.
I'm saying the best I've seen him play in a while, to be fair. But again,
Funny how these players leave it late to show a bit.
yeah, but he stayed in tight, and I thought he done well there. It's when he goes up the other end of the pitch and does nothing, and you can't play this Conte system without someone that can do a bit. We talked about Perisic off air. regardless of how poor he was against Man City, one thing with Perisic is if he gets there, it's going over.
It's capable across.
And we've got the second most headed goals in the Premier League. Something we didn't do before. We didn't score from set pieces, and now we've got that in the bank. And I think with Paul, I think he's going to get a real good relationship with Romero. I can imagine them two being able to play football. And when you're a good football player and you've got someone next to you, you don't trust them. And you can see that lack of trust a lot. Even with Kane, sometimes he'll be in a position to see Royale there. Well, I can't go back to him. It's going to go nowhere. Let me spin and go there. I think once you get ball players playing together, it becomes more fluid. And, you've got that in Bentancur. He can pass back to Romero, but where does Romero go? Got no options. He's got Eric Hollywood Dyer next to him who's going to try and do a Hollywood ball. Thinking he's Toby Alderweireld, and you're not. Or you've got Royale who's going to run into nowhere. Yeah. So it's going to be...
You guys know, you go home and away all the time, everywhere. That position, watching it this year, has been so depressing.
Diabolical. And it's been like that, let's be honest, it's been like that since Kyle Walker has left.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's getting worse and worse and worse every year, granted.
Well, the irony is, Kyle Walker-Peters, I thought, didn't get enough game time because I think his last game, it was the end of the season when we beat Leicester at Wembley, that great game. He was man of the match. And every time he played, he was man of the match. I thought, this kid's quite good. And then he got given away. And I think we've just gone down and down from... Aurier's getting man of the match for Forest. Yeah. I'd prefer Aurier.
Spurs fans were partly responsible for why Trippier left.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
And that was a big issue. And that was self-inflicted by our own fans. It was.
Yeah, and I agree.
We pushed and we pushed and we pushed for him, saying he made a few mistakes in a series of games. Next thing he's out the door, and next thing you got Emerson Royale a couple of years later playing in his position.
Yeah. But every previous right back
for Newcastle
was the main man.
Every previous right back gets into this team. Aurier gets into this team. Trippier gets into this team, and it's like. Now, finally, maybe some light at the end of the tunnel with this right-back situation.
Yeah.
So
and I think it's vital that we have a dual threat from both wings because it's so easy at the moment to do that. We're just so focused down that left-hand side.
Nullify that left side.
How many times have you just seen either Emerson or Doherty in either one-on-one situation with the defender, or especially Emerson, he's in the final third and the move just breaks down time after time again when he's got time and space to pick someone out and he can't do it. And to have someone like Porro attacking that space, but actually, look, he's got the most assists in the Primera Liga this season for Sporting Lisbon, and he's completely cross the ball. And he takes their corners, he takes free kicks, he's got very good technique.
So
you'll start seeing Kulusevski flourish even more.
Yeah, that's the mirror image of Perisic with the assists, the amount of assists he's got this season. And you know what, like you said, Emerson getting to that final third, literally me and Gaz all the time go, Emerson Royale there. Like, literally just does something to show whether it's gone into Rose Ed or he's just cut back inside and gone nowhere. It's just, that is what's the most disappointing thing for Spurs fans. When you're there, cuts back in, and then it goes back, and you're like, what are we doing?
And then when he does put in a cross, he balloons it sky high, and it's just like...
We sit together, and I'll notice Romero, he won't pass it to him.
Yeah, a lot of the time I've seen that.
Doesn't trust them. Doesn't
He's
trust them. He'll look inside. He'll go the other way. Doesn't trust that right hand side because he probably knows he's just going to get the ball back. And get it, turn back, give it back to him. As well have the ball. Hold on to himself.
Well, it could add a big dimension to our play. Second half of the season, Porro coming in.